we talk about our mobile first journey through the production at Interseroh. First of all, I just want to say I'm the head of the Sub Competence Center at the Interseroh, and already I worked already since 13 years for SAP projects. Starting as consulting for material management, supported a lot of projects, and finally I'm now leading a team of at Interseroh. Who's that? Interseroh is one company who focused on the end of the product life cycle, and we at Interseroh knows that that the consumption is really an issue for all of us, and therefore there are at the end of the product life cycle there are two challenges which needs to be faced. It's one of them is the reversal logistic process, and the other one is the recycling process. And Interseroh is really strong to close these gaps in order to get the circular economy. Just have a look on what Interseroh is doing. Interseroh is responsible for recycling 30% of all the yellow baggage waste. Interseroh is one of 8 dual systems in Germany, is taking care about the licensing for the packaging materials for producers, and Interseroh runs as well a lot of pooling system, take back system, and we have the AFS in Berlin who's taking care about the facility management, and all this together will work to closing the circular loops. And finally, we have here a kind of a vertical integration. This means we're starting from the collecting of light packaging material to the production of secondary raw material resources. And that's where the project and our demo starts with the creation of Procyclen and Reciten. That's our most famous products because they are just coming out just from the yellow bins, and they will create a new product. So, and then we had a plant where the material is created, and the plant was already driving SAP for material management, for sales and distribution, but the rest was just Excel, just Excel solutions to driving really a production plant. And in our first roadshow, we just presented some highlights from our SAP journey. We showed a lot of details, and there was some keywords dropped during this process. One of them, to just highlight here, the most significant point is just to have one central system, because there was a lot of different lists work going around, and there was no clear backend system to have all the data available. And one point was really to increase the effectivity of the process according to avoid a lot of double process steps. And from our IT perspective, it was really important to really align the processes with the IT issues. So, and out of this, we created the SAP transformation for the Alba recycling telophase. And for us, it was Neptune project number 8, because we already started in 2015 with the first project, created some customer portals. We also created the time recording for internal cost allocation, installed the employee self-service, payroll, and a lot of other reports and dashboards. And therefore, there was no fear to get the challenge to get all the functionalities to a mobile device for the production. So finally, we achieved. It was a hard work. I don't know, I don't have a name for the approach, but it was just a lot of work in 6 months to get with a team of 2 full-time equivalents the project done. And to sum it up, we have here 2 success factors finally. One of them was the clear functions behind the SAP system, because we explained also the company that we can check mark on each subject what was required based on the complex functionality which is in such a system, and therefore we installed the QM or customized the QM or an PP system. And the other thing, it's more important because to give all the data to the operations, we just have to create nice applications out of it to all get the required data back. So, and to just have a look on the starting point, we just have this picture here, which simply shows the starting point. There was the kind of a management who worked with just Excel list for driving the real world. The real world are the running processes for the productions, then the papers or something like that coming back into the back office with manually written information on it, and they will once again enter it into the system, and finally once again they have to enter the data into the subsystem. So this process is really takes a lot of effort to run such a process. There was hundreds of different media breaks in it, therefore a lot of quite high risk to have here some errors in it. So, and the digital transformation was made by power transactions, as everybody knows that, here on the ground. And on the other side, we have the mobile apps for the logistic guys. So, and what we did is we just implemented a clear sales order process or order to cash process, with starting to create a sales order, to make the material requirement planning, create the production orders, create the shipment, and so on. And on all points where we have contact with guys who are not familiar with SAP and doesn't know how the system works, we created mobile apps for it. Especially the Shredder app is one app to just post the goods issue for the consumption of the raw material, and one other mobile app is here the Scale app to post the goods receipt of the finished or semi-finished products. So, and what does it mean? To implement really a classic SAP process. If we have seen it from the military before, it's also quite hard to just post in goods receipt for in a traditional way. For instance, what you see here is that we have a standard process. You have the production line, you have the scale in place with the printer on it, and finally you have the warehouse. And if you want to post in goods receipt, you have to go through all the 10 points to get the process done. And this is a lot of work, and you need especially 90 seconds for posting such goods receipt, because you have to first of all waiting the finished material, you have to go to such a nice terminal, you have to log on, you have to open the transaction, enter the 10 digits long production number, and finally enter all the data, and by the end you have to apply the finished label on the product and the sample. And last but not least, point 10 is also quite complicated, because then you have to consume the booking of the packaging materials. And for that, you really have to, once again, starting from point 4, to just post the consumption for it. And this is a classical process. We just created the process to make the process running, but it was clear that it can't be feasible for the logistics. Therefore, we installed or created mobile app for the scale process. And what's behind? You have to, first of all, here on the left picture, you have to select the right production order. Then you have to and there you already can skip some processes in comparison with the classic process. Then you have to just scan with the barcode the working area in order to select the printer and finally post the goods receipt. And with this activity, we are also able to get the kilograms which coming from the scale, and then the process is gone. And that's what happening, that we get rid of all annoying user interactions because we have a simple processes just to post here goods receipt. So, and this was the starting point from the go live here, and we did also a kind of a small video for it. But finally, we got a lead time of 30 seconds for each goods receipt. That's really amazing because if you compare this with the traditional way, it's a lot of time saving what we achieved here. And to see the app running, we have a small video, and it's in nice German, but I will try to make the translation for you. Let's have a look on it. It shows just here the production, and here the old process is shown where are there still problems during in the Excel list, and there are still confusions in it. And now the start of the digitalization, and here it was on the go live the first walkthrough to the storage location of the raw material, and we used the scanner. No typing anymore, just scanning. That was the key also for the logistic guys. And here's the shredder where the forklifter takes the raw material in it. And we have the production order behind where the guys are doing the consumption posting just via scanning here the barcode label. And that's what makes it real, and really showed that the processes really online and real time in the system. So, and we have here the next step. We have here the final the rating of the finished product. We have here shown our production order here on my computer. And that's what the guys really now just have to do, is to take the device and just selecting the correct production order, and then they have to scan the work area and according to get the information where I am, because now we get the data from the scale, and we are also able to post the consumption. And finally, we post the goods receipt, and we got two labels, one for the finished product and one for the sample. And during the training for the logistic team, there was one sentence that they said it was quite easy to use this application, and we just see it that the guys were really enthusiastic, because can see it here that das doch kinderleicht means something that was easy peasy. That was the result from the key user training during the implementation that they just mentioned. It was quite easy to use this apps. So yeah, we had a lot of fun there, but this was with the hypercare, this was last year. Now we looked once again to improve the process, and therefore we installed Okay, now it works. Now we installed a beacon. A beacon is the next generation after the it's something like that. At continuously sending data from with a Bluetooth protocol, and what we achieved is that we get rid of the scanning process of the barcode label. This means our apps are able, or all apps are able, to communicate with such a beacon, and therefore we achieved also a time saving of 1 second. It's not that high, but it's more the quality of the process. We are able to guarantee that the apps are just working in a correct way, and that we get more accurate data quality in the system. So, and to just, we prepared also a nice demo for it, because normally we run this with this device, but it's quite hard to bring it here on the desk. Therefore, Benny was so nice to bring it here on this mobile phone. Let's have a look on it. Okay, here it is. So this is the Launchpad. Here are the one of 3 production apps. Waage means it's German. It means scale. That's the scale process. There's a beacon inside. We just have to go for it. Here I see a lot of production orders, and I have 1 beacon here and 1 beacon there. And if I just select now 1 production order, we are in a co-production. This means we have a lot of output products which are coming out of the process. And now they have to probably select the output material which is required. And then the system recognizes that I'm already here. And therefore, I don't have to scan a barcode in order to say, okay, I'm in this area and I want to move forward to the next process. That's why you only see it just a second. It's kind of a message shows what pops up. It just shows, because normally it's not the user is not so interested about, but you see here Waagedaten 1 holen means it just takes the data from this beacon. And if I go back again here to another production order, go in this direction here. So, and we take the data from scale number 2. So, and for us it's really important, because with this achievement we can guarantee that we can align the IT processes with the IT. And that's coming back to the presentation, because that's a result of the process. Because what we now achieved is there are less gears in it, and because we took all of the SAP functionalities and really bring it directly on the process to really synchronize the real world with the SAP transactions, and therefore we use all the functionalities in the system, and to bring it in a proper and nice way to the logistic guys, we used the Neptune apps, to bring it, to really make it nice, And one classical or one funny thing is, if the guys are just calling us at the help desk to just asking for a new password or something, they always ask if they wanted to have a new Neptune password, and they don't recognize it's SAP. So that's our marketing problem inside, but it shows us that the acceptance of the logistics team is quite high. So thank you so much. Now I also can enjoy this if you.